John Durham, the special counsel appointed by Donald Trump to uncover the crime of the century, did not, in fact, uncover the crime of the century, or really that much. In fact, really nothing that we didn't already know. Well, he was recently brought into the House to testify in front of the Judiciary Committee and ended up embarrassing himself even further than he already has been. Take a look.
Did it take 4 years to complete?
Correct.
Okay. And with all these resources and all these people you were sent to help you investigate the investigators, you only filed 3 criminal cases. You only brought 2 cases to trial, correct?
Correct.
And you lost all the cases you brought to trial, correct?
Correct.
In fact, 2 juries acquitted your defendants on all charges. And the one conviction that you obtained, the defendant pleaded guilty to a single count that never went to trial, correct?
Correct.
And none of the individuals you prosecuted were ever charged with being part of a hoax or a fraud or a witch hunt or a politically motivated deep state conspiracy against Donald Trump. Isn't that correct?
I would not say that that's accurate.
You mean you did charge somebody with being a part of a hoax?
We charged Mr. Sussman with having knowingly provided false information to the FBI regarding Alpha Bank.
But he was acquitted, though, right? After
well, that wasn't your question.
Mr. Sussman was acquitted after you charged him, correct?
Grand jury found
he was found innocent by a jury of by a unanimous jury of 12.
That's not true.
Well,
what's true is the grand jury found probable cause to indict Mr. Sussman.
A jury of his peers acquitted him, though, correct?
Oof. Oh, that is not going well. Okay, so look, 4 years, $6.5 million later, there was no deep state conspiracy. I mean, hey, well done, John. Nailed it. You actually disproved. I know that wasn't your aim, but you actually disproved the right-wing conspiracy theorists. Congratulations. Nailed it. Now, one of the things that actually happened as a result of both this investigation and actually, I'm going to give more credit to the Horowitz report, is there were some changes at the FBI. I'm not a fan of the FBI. As a leftist, the FBI has been usually used to, go after portions of the left, minorities specifically. And so I welcome oversight and I welcome changes to the FBI. And so one of the ones has to do with, getting FISA warrants and all that stuff. And again, most of the problems that were identified in this report were problems that were previously identified and fixed following the OIG report from Horowitz. So what this did is that it was basically a waste of time and money and failed to do anything the right wing wanted it to do. Now, again, if the right wing's aim was, hey, we need to fix a little bit of, stuff at the FBI, we identified some issues here, and we should fix those to make sure that everybody gets fair, honesty, whatever. Well, that was not what they were going for. Remember, the whole purpose was to investigate the investigators, uncover the crime of the century, punish the FBI for interfering in elections. Well, that's not what happened because they didn't actually do that. Oh, but it actually gets better because I only showed you a couple of the times where Mr. Durham got clowned. But there's another video here, and it's Representative Adam Schiff and a line of questioning from him, which got Durham to basically admit something rather uncomfortable.
Mr. Durham, you're aware of Donald Trump's public statements along the lines of, hey, Russia, if you're listening, hack Hillary's emails, you'll be richly rewarded by the press. You aware of that?
I'm aware of that.
And are you aware that Mueller found that hours after he made that plea for Russian help, the Russians, in fact, tried to hack one of the email servers affiliated with the Clinton campaigner family?
If that happened, I'm not aware of that. I mean, it could very well.
You're not aware of that in the Mueller report?
There was a suggestion that the Russians could help. They had damaging information as to Mrs. Clinton. And
by releasing it anonymously, right? And that's exactly what happened, isn't it?
I don't.
You really don't know?
I'm not sure exactly. When you say exactly what happened.
Well, the Russians released stolen emails through cutouts, did they not?
There were emails.
It's
that
a
were
very simple
released
question. Did
by
they release
WikiLeaks.
information, stolen information through cutouts, yes or no?
Yeah, I'm not sure that.
You really don't know the answer to that? Now, that information, of course, was helpful to the Trump campaign, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question, but that the Russians intruded into,
Well, I just want to
hacked
get,
into the systems, they released information.
and that was helpful to the Trump campaign, right?
And the conclusion in the ICA and in the Mueller investigation was that the Russians intended to
Can
assist.
you answer my question, Mr. Durham? That was helpful to the Trump campaign, right?
Yeah, that's.
And Trump made use of that, as I said, didn't he, by touting those stolen documents on the campaign trail over 100 times?
I said, I don't really read the newspapers or listen to the news. I don't
Really,
find
you
all
were
that reliable, so I don't know that.
Mr. Durham, you're totally oblivious to Donald Trump's use of the stolen emails on the campaign trail more than 100 times? Did
I'm
that
not aware of
escape your
that.
attention?
I am not aware of that.
Oh, damn. Damn. Oh, stop. He's already dead. I'm sorry. I'm not aware of that. I'm not aware of that. I don't know that, but okay. Yeah, there was no question that it did help Trump, but actually, oh God, I don't want to say it. At what point was John Durham? I mean, I should say, what is John Durham aware of? I mean, if he's not aware of any of this other stuff that happened to be happening all around the investigation, the Mueller investigation, that you claim to investigate that you didn't even read. Again, certainly you're not aware of a deep state plot to stop Donald Trump because it never happened. It's nonsense. The entire narrative that the government is weaponized against Donald Trump. No, that's just not the reality. Did they like him? No, of course. They hated him. They hate Donald Trump. They despised him because he's an incompetent moron. And by the way, that's according to people who had worked for Donald Trump, former Trump officials, who thought they could, working for Trump, get a nice plum position. Yeah, okay, he's a bit crass on the campaign trail, but people tend to like that. He says it the way it is. He talks like a real person, like with a fifth grade, education. But okay, we can understand him. Okay, but he's not really that stupid, though. Okay, and then they start to work for him, and they realize, oh my God, this guy's a moron. Like he actually is this way in real life. I thought this was just a shtick, a way to get dumb people to vote for him. No, turns out he's actually as dumb as they are. In fact, probably more so. Oh God, what have we done? Again, the whole purpose of these people working for him is to advance their careers and realize they were working for an unhinged madman with the maturity level of a 5-year-old and the intelligence to match. Durham, again, in this hearing, pretty obvious he got bodied. Okay? I mean, it was so bad that Republicans literally voted to censure Adam Schiff. I mean, along party lines, 213 Republicans voted in favor of censuring him, and 209 Democrats against, obviously, and they reprimanded him for trying to draw a link between Donald Trump and Russia. This was bad. This was bad for him, so bad. Okay. Now, the thing about it is that it might actually be worse for Durham. Turns out he might have actually lied during his testimony. So this talks about the Trump Tower meeting, right? So you remember the Trump Tower meeting where you had Don Jr. meeting with Russian agent Natalia Veselnitskaya, who claimed to have some damaging information about Hillary Clinton. So now they downplayed that. In fact, here's what Durham had to say about it. Quote, people get phone calls all the time from individuals who claim to have information like that. Now, Schiff asked, are you really trying to diminish the importance of what happened here? During this meeting, where again, you had representatives from a foreign country coming in and meeting with representatives from a political campaign about information that could be damaging to an opponent's campaign. Now, look, the more complete story, according to Durham, is that, well, okay, so they met and it was a lie. They didn't actually have damaging information about Hillary Clinton. They didn't even talk about her. Well, that's because she didn't actually have any damaging information at Hillary Clinton at the time. But Don Jr. was totally interested in talking about it. The report noted that Trump Jr. had asked follow-up questions about how the alleged payments, these alleged payments to the Clinton Foundation, whatever, could be tied to specifically to the Clinton campaign. Veselnitskaya had responded that she could not trace the money once it entered the United States, and quotes a meeting participant who recounted that Trump Jr. asked what they, quote, the Russians have on Clinton. So that was the whole point. Don Jr.'s like, oh, you got some information for me? You got some information that will help us in our political campaign against Hillary Clinton? Give it. What you got? In a subsequent interaction, Representative Tom McClintock noted that the central charge in the Russia collusion hoax, they say, was that Trump campaign operatives were in contact with Russian intelligence sources. Durham claimed that there was no such evidence, but that appears to also be false. Again, you had Konstantin Kilimnik, who met with Paul Manafort several times. Now, that said, with these seeming lies that Durham had spouted, or either that or he apparently didn't read anything. Oh, I don't really know about I didn't read the report. I don't watch the news. What do you do all day? How are you investigating the investigators if you don't know a damn thing about what's going on? It's pretty obvious. But that said, look, Durham, I don't see him getting hit for that. Of course not. Charged. But at the end of the day, the right wing, well, they were not helped by this hearing. It didn't do anything to help them and their narrative. And it also didn't really help to do anything to enact changes at the FBI, which, I'm welcome to see. Because I would actually like our law enforcement agencies to not do political persecutions and investigations. That would be great. It's just not happening to the right. But again, the whole thing, this entire hearing, was just an embarrassing faceplant that did more to help the election campaign of Adam Schiff, more than anything, than to actually try to rein in the alleged weaponized government.